You would never join a startup if it's already in debt. So why are you dating someone that's broke? What's up, losers? Today I'm going to be talking to you about why you need to treat your relationships like you would a business. Okay, and let's just get it clear. When I say treat your relationship like a business, I don't mean invoice them when you guys are out on a date. I mean some of the stuff that you would do before you get into a business or invest in it, do it for your relationship. First rule is to only get into a relationship when you have the mental capacity for it. You need to be ready to lose some money when you join a business, right? Like when you're starting a business, you go into it with excess money so that you're ready to lose it. For any reason you do lose money in that business, you're fine because you have an emergency fund. The same thing goes for your relationship. If you don't have the mental capacity and a little cushion in your mentality, you're not going to be able to deal with that relationship, because relationships, they do take a lot from you mentally, and if you don't have that extra cushioning, it's going to be really tough for you. Everything that you give away in a relationship, like your mental stability, your time and boundaries, you need to have that in excess so that even if the relationship takes a portion of it away, you're still stable. It's just like investing in a business. If you lose all that money in an investment, you wouldn't go crazy because you would have invested an amount that you're willing to lose. If you're already burnt out or emotionally unavailable, this is going to push you deeper and deeper into emotional debt. It's probably best for you if you're not getting into relationships when you're in that position. Focus on yourself and build yourself up, and then when you're totally stable, you're gonna have so much time and emotional availability that your relationship is gonna feel like a breeze. Number 2 is background checks. No, I don't mean check if they're a criminal, although maybe that might help. But you need to make sure that they're okay financially. Before you buy into a business, you'd always check their balance sheets and make sure they're financially healthy. So the same thing should go for a partner, especially if this is someone that you're looking to marry. Your financials get mushed together later on. You need to not only check their current financial situation, but also how they manage it while you guys are dating, so that you can see whether your financial choices match. Because if they don't, that's gonna cause a lot of problems. A bad credit score, for example, should be a red flag, because are you looking to buy a house with your partner? Will this affect that investment? Also, just a pro tip, I had a client once who kept telling me that every agency they worked with was crap. I only realized later on that it was her that was the crazy one, and she was probably the one that was so difficult to deal with because she was just such a difficult client. And if you're dating someone and they say the same thing, that, oh yeah, everyone that I did it before was crazy, that's a red flag. Okay? Business, relationships, they work the same. Number 3 is to negotiate your terms clearly, your boundaries, whatever your expectations are. You should have a list of all the things you're expecting at this point, especially if you're over 25. You're probably in that point where you've dated enough and you know exactly what you want. So you don't have time to waste. I'm not here to ask you what your favorite color is. I want to know how you manage your finances. Would you be able to benefit me? Are you better than me in things? And why? And maybe if I'm not good at stuff, but you are, that means we're a good match. These are the things that you need to talk about when it comes to collaboration. Make sure you're communicating about your expectations clearly, and if they don't meet that, just leave. There are 1,000 people that probably fit your criteria anyway. Number 4 is to see if they really benefit you. You should already be a complete person before you start dating. So you should be completely settled and stable in life and happy, so that you're not relying on them for anything in return. Because if you're going out of your way to date someone, and you're taking away time out of your day to date someone, and you're taking out energy from yourself to date this person, you should be getting something back in exchange, and it has to be a good thing. There's no point dating someone if they're not going to do that. If you find yourself stagnant or falling behind, yeah, that's probably a sign that it's not a good collaboration. A healthy relationship means both people benefit from it, just like a really good partnership. We don't do charity work out here, okay? I'm not giving out free investments to people. Okay, I'm looking for my returns. So if there's no returns, I'm outie. Number 5 is to cut your losses early. Now, in any business that I've owned or whatever, if a problem arises 3 times and I've tried 3 different ways to solve it and it doesn't get solved, I look for alternatives, okay? I'm not sticking around to find out, because if I've done it 3 times, that's enough times. So have a cutoff date. If something isn't working the way you want and you've brought it up several times and you've tried to fix it several times in different ways and it's still not getting fixed, that's your sign to leave. So I'll have a cutoff for myself, as in if I've tried 3 times and I've tried alternatives and it's still not working, guess what? It's never gonna work, because in the end, you can't control the other person, you can only control yourself. Rule number 6 is to diversify your portfolio. So if you're constantly relying on one person to do everything for you, support you, finance you, make you happy, be your therapist, guess what? Even if they're a crap person, you're not going to be able to leave them. Instead, try to diversify where you get all these things from. If you have a good friendship group that can support you and you have several friends that can do this for you, you're already on the right track, because you won't be relying on this one person to do everything for you. This is the same as having one supplier that you rely on in your business. Having one supplier, everyone knows, especially if you're a restaurant, is a terrible idea. If for some reason there's supply chain issues or logistic issues, you have nowhere to go and you might even have to shut down your restaurant because you're just relying on this one supplier. So it's always good to diversify or have backup plans. So if you can't get something from one supplier, you can always go to another. Same thing in a relationship. You can't rely on one person to do everything for you. Just remember, they're human. So they won't be able to give you everything that you ask for. They have a limit. They have a heart. They have a brain. They're just human. You can't expect everything to be solved or saved by one person. Rule 7 is to reinvest in yourself. I've seen so many people get into relationships and forget about themselves and stop growing and stop educating themselves because they feel like they've reached their goal, which is to date. You should always be growing and always be educating yourself and always becoming a better version of yourself. That does mean to keep going even when you are in a relationship. Relationships don't mean you stop growth, okay? You still need to keep going. And that's why it's important to have someone that encourages your growth. Because if you don't, you're gonna be stagnant and they might be growing, and then you guys will further separate because one person is outpacing the other. You guys need to grow together. So continue to reinvest in yourself while you're in that relationship. Just a little bonus tip as well. Stop love lending. What is love lending? Love lending is when you lend a person you love, so it's like, it could be a partner, it could be a friend, whatever. You lend the person money out of love. As in, you wouldn't have done it for anyone else, but you're doing it because you love the person, right? So you lend them this money, and then that person kind of feels like they can get away with not paying you because it was a love lend. It's like, oh yeah, but it's my friend, or it's my bestie, or it's my boyfriend, or it's my girlfriend, or it's my husband, it's my wife. So they try to not pay for it as much as possible. They try to like drag it out. You know, they come up with excuses. And because you've done a love lend, and you love them so much, you struggle to ask for the money back because it's like, oh, where would that put our relationship? Like, how would they feel if I asked? This is just gonna put you in an uncomfortable situation because you can't ask for the money back. They're gonna try and not pay because they know that you did a love lend. Don't love lend. Stop love lending. I only lend money to people that like pay me back with interest. Stop love lending. Stop it. They're gonna take advantage of you. They're not gonna pay you back. Also, it's such a red flag if someone asks to borrow money from you. Like, the only reason I would be okay with it is if their money is like tied up in an investment and they're like, it's gonna take a while to liquidate, so can I just have some cash then? Yeah, fine. But if you're like broke and you're like, oh, I don't have money to pay for this, so can you lend me money? No, baby boo. That is not happening. This is obviously my opinion. Please don't bombard me. And if you like anything related to finance, productivity, business, entrepreneurship, you name it, hit subscribe because I'll be back with more.